Hello, BookTube.
Hello.
So, it is the 29th. It's the 29th of November.
You'll be seeing it on the 30th.
It's his birthday. And, yay. We are going to wrap up New World's November. Now...
Yep. We missed it. We missed like 2 weeks of it. It was our idea, and we missed 2 weeks of it because I suck and I got sick and ended up in the hospital.
2 weeks ago, Scott had a really, well, it's been 2 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Had a really, really bad medical emergency. And I'm talking, weren't sure he was going to last the night. Medical emergency. So, yeah. But he did. He got a really bad medical diagnosis, but he's fine. He's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm. As long as I stay on my meds and stay on my diet and exercise as much as I possibly can and stuff like that. Yep, I'll be fine. I've lost a bunch of weight already. It's going to keep coming off.
He's lost like 32 pounds?
Yeah.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, something like that.
But because of that, I've sort of checked out for the last 2 weeks. I missed time travel because he was in the hospital.
I did
for most
too,
of it.
because I was in the hospital for all of time travel except for one day, I think.
Mm-hmm. And I got 2 post-apocalyptic books. Post-apocalypse or post-apocalyptic? Post-apocalyptic books. That's a fun word. And I'm very proud of those 2 post-apocalyptic books because it's been a rough 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has.
But for this video, we're going to go over what we read, what we were excited by, what we really enjoyed, what we really didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
And
there were a couple I really didn't enjoy. I mean, I bordered on hatred of these stories. So
I don't think I had one that I hated. I had one that I was like,
that you were just okay with. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so the 2 books I read, the first one's called Matched to the Monster by Rena Marks, Rena Marks, Matched to the Monster, and it's fantastic. It was a 5-star read for me. I was really surprised. I just sort of happened upon it, but it takes place on Earth. Well, it starts on Earth years into the future after World War III has happened, and Earth is left with like 10 women to every male. And that imbalance has gone to a really, really bad place for the females. Females are, well, they're dirt as far as the society is concerned. And humanity has already had first contact with alien life. They have made alliances and built portal machines so you can travel to other worlds and things like that. And the female lead is the daughter of the president of Earth's government, and she's chattel, and she's the first to be chosen for a bride program in which they get rid of some of the females of Earth to send them to other worlds. But she gets sent to this semi-aquatic planet, and the male lead he's very other, but he's much more caring about the females in his care than the human males are. And the best thing about this book is we get to see this female lead grow to be. You get to see her build her self-awareness, her self-esteem. You get to grow. You get to see her grow into a self-confident human, and it's fabulous. It's so fabulous. I just love it so much. I was very surprised by it. But the second one I read was Stolen by the Hunter by Lynnea Lee, Lynnea Lee, and it's the 7th or 8th
Go ahead and put those down in the
description.
Just put the Amazon link to them.
That's a good
in the
idea.
description. It'll be a lot easier.
Should I put the Goodreads? Link?
Either one. No, I would do Amazon. So
yeah, because they're both on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, so people can buy it.
It's the 7th or 8th book. I forgot to write it down in the Zarkan Warriors series. I did it. I said the word.
Oh, Warriors. You did because you didn't think about it.
Yeah. In that series, and again, absolutely fantastic. But then I'm addicted to that series, so that helps. And it was everything I wanted it to be, and it was one of the ones that I saved. It was actually published in October, right along with that other book. Who was it? It was the Aliens Ward or something. His Human Ward by Michelle Mills.
That's one you didn't like, right?
Yes, I was so upset by that book. So upset. I mean, it was a good book, but it was disappointing. It was not up to snuff.
Yeah, I get it.
But there's a new one coming in December, so Merry Christmas to me. This one I loved.
Yeah.
Loved it. Oh, there's another one of these coming in December. Merry Christmas to me.
Oh, cool. Good.
But yeah, those are my 2 post-apocalyptic books. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. All right, my turn. What I read, the post-apocalyptic books or stories I read were all out of this book right here, Wastelands, Stories of the Apocalypse. And this has become not just one of my favorite short story books, it's one of my favorite books.
Nice.
I got this from, Scott Danielson gave this to me as a gift. Gave this to us. I mean, you could read at it. You would enjoy stuff out of here too. Mm-hmm. It is a wonderful book. But I'll tell you what I read out of it, what I liked and what I didn't. Actually, I read 5 stories out of here.
Goodness.
Where's the other one?
You read the George R. Martin book?
Yeah, it was. It was called Dark, Dark Were the Tunnels, and it was junk. I did not enjoy it whatsoever. I don't enjoy George R. Martin's writings.
You read the Stephen King book?
Yeah, I read the Stephen King book called The End of the Whole Mess, which was an absolute turd. What a piece of crap that story was. And people were, they've fallen all over this story, and I just don't get it. It's Stephen King trying to sound cool with his language, and I think Stephen King has trouble with dialogue. Like
Stephen King's bailiwick is description.
Yeah, it is.
He needs to stay there.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's that good at that even. And The Deep Blue Sea by Elizabeth Bear, which I thought was a decent story. I'm not an Elizabeth Bear fan, so I wanted to try something else. She wrote a book once that I hated. Cannot remember all this. The Speed of Dark or something like that. The Speed of Dark. I think it was awful. It was really bad.
I think it's faster than the speed of love.
Oh yeah, and The Deep Blue Sea is much better than that. It's a pretty good story. Now the next 2 I loved. They were really, really good stories. Killers by Carol M. Schwiller came out of this book, and I really enjoyed it. One of the best short stories I read was Killers by Carol M. Schwiller, and it was not very long at all. Very cool story about a woman who lives in an apocalyptic world where war came to U.S. soil. So I really had a good time with that. And of course, my favorite was Speech Sounds by Octavia E. Butler. Octavia Butler has become probably one of my favorite writers here lately.
She's gotten a lot of love in New World's November.
She sure has, and rightfully so. Those are the 5 stories I read. I thought I'd only read 4. I read 5. I say, if you don't have this book, and you like a post-apocalyptic story, get this. There are 3 of these. Wastelands 2, which I have, which I didn't touch, but I will next year for sure. You know, if we do post-apocalyptic stories again, or just sometime next year. Even if it's not during New World's November. Wasteland's a New Apocalypse, which I think is the one that Mindy has. And she's reading out of that. But if you don't have this, go get it. It is worth your money.
I was standing at the stove. I think I was making tea or something. I hear Scott in the other room yell, "This George R. Martin story is crap."
Yeah. It wasn't good. It was not good at all. It was a goblin story, you know, or with science fiction stuff in it. It just wasn't good.
It's a fantasy story masquerading as a science
Yeah,
fiction
and,
story.
and I mean, I might be biased against him. I don't like George R. R. Martin. I don't like his writing style.
It's like Terry Goodkind. We just don't like him.
I hate the Game of Thrones, the TV show and the books. I read the first book and had no desire to go forward. I thought I didn't like the writing.
Drawing that line in the sand, man.
Well, I tried, and I might try book 2 later on. But if it's not better than book 1, then forget it.
All right. What was the best thing you read?
In
New World's November.
New World's November. The best thing I read. Geez, I don't know. I'm gonna say the best thing I read was A Martian Odyssey. Probably by Stanley G. Weinbaum. A Martian Odyssey was amazing. Loved it. Loved everything about it. And I also loved Rescue Party by Arthur C. Clarke. And of course, I'm a big Rescue Party. I'm a big Arthur C. Clarke fan.
Rescue Party was awesome.
It was great. You read that one.
It was fantastic.
You liked Martian Odyssey too.
I did indeed.
Yeah. I don't know which one I like better. I love them both.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I love them both. I don't know which one I will say is my favorite. Loved them both though, a lot. I would say that those are the two best things that I read. And actually, you know what? I don't know. Bloodchild was awfully good.
That was
Octavia E. Butler. Right? So those three are tied. I can't choose a favorite of those three. So go ahead.
Yeah, you know it's funny. I read quite a bit from for the robots and AI section, but none of them made my top spot. I read some really good ones, like the Cyborgs on Mars series by Honey Phillips. I love Honey Phillips. Love her. She's fantastic. She's a great little she's a great sci-fi romance writer.
Little sci-fi romance writer.
I feel awful for actually saying that. She is a sci-fi romance novel. There's novelist.
There's nothing little
There's
about
nothing little about it.
Yep. Her little projects.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Isn't that what you meant?
That's exactly. Yeah. She's really good at writing her little stories. I would never say that about somebody ever. Yep. There's a backstory behind that.
Yeah, there is.
So you know, and it's awful.
Hilarious.
Best thing I read was any of the Regina Bell books.
Regina Bell.
Regine?
Not Regina Bell. It's
Regine Bell.
Yes.
I'll put all this down in the description.
Yeah, do that.
She wrote the I Married a Lizard Man, I Married a Naga, and I Married a Birdman series, and they're fantastic.
Or
she also
Naga if you live in the Northeast.
She also wrote a book called Doom, which was just fantastic, and I'm going to be reading the rest of that series too. But it didn't fit any of the prompts. But Regine Bell has this magnificent skill at writing cultures and world building, and she actually says she was a game programmer for a long time, so I guess it makes sense. But any of the books that I read by her are right up there at the top of my list.
Good.
Also, Match to a Monster by Rena Marks. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely adored it. That was perfect.
Good. Yeah.
It was a 5-star read for me.
Cool.
All right. What about hated? Or biggest disappointment? Or just did not like?
Did not like, number one. I'm going to say the end of the whole mess, I think is what it's called. Let me find it. By Stephen King. Mm-hmm. I would say that took the cake as the worst. After, let's see, what was the other one I read that I didn't like? It's not up there.
No, this is on mine.
Oh, hold on a second.
Let me look on my... you didn't write yours down.
I did. It's just on my phone. Cat and Mouse by Ralph Williams. Those two stories were horrible.
What was wrong with them?
Stephen King's was just poorly written. It was all over the place. It was like 40 pages of
drivel.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
not a huge Stephen King hater. I'm not a big fan.
He's a good short story writer. I don't understand how he managed to miss that hard.
He's a good short story writer.
No, see, I loved like 1408.
Yeah, I know.
And
I'm not saying he hasn't written some good short stories. I just say
he just has his gems amongst the rubble.
I just don't. I don't think he has a lot of strengths. But he has a lot of weaknesses, and there is a whole lot to forgive in Stephen King.
You know what his
books.
biggest strength is introducing every human being who lives in the town at the beginning of his 1,400-page book.
Yeah, I know.
That's what his biggest strengths are. You have 300 pages of introductions, then you have the novel.
Yep. So those are the ones. Those are the stories I really didn't like. Oh, and there was one more. Let me find it. It was during.
Was
Robots.
it the George R. R. Oh.
No, that wasn't good, but it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read. Now, Ancient Engines by Michael Swanwick sucked. It was just a bunch of people sitting around a table talking about stuff that wasn't interesting.
See, dialogue can go a long way as long as the topic is
dialogue
interesting.
can be great. Dialogue can be done very well, and I've read dialogue heavy books that I just loved. But this wasn't just dialogue heavy; it was only dialogue, and it was dialogue about junk I didn't care about. But a whole lot of people do, I guess, because this story won a bunch of awards, and I say it's not deserved. But what do I know? I just know I didn't like it, and that's what matters.
I get it. So the one book that I was just about this month was called "Mated to the Alien Warrior" by Maya Tanith. Oh, this book irritated me. It's called a romance. There was nothing romance about it. These characters.
I'm trying not to sneeze, folks.
If you sneeze. These characters just. There was no chemistry between the male lead and the female lead. No chemistry whatsoever. They were thrown together into a dungeon outside a gladiator ring, which is actually a surprisingly common premise in alien romance. And there's just no chemistry. Absolutely, from beginning to end. And they barely tolerated each other until like the last 3 pages, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I think I can handle you, and that's it. There was no romances. The pinnacle of a romance is the I love you. That's what everything is leading up to. Didn't happen.
Right. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And it's upsetting. And that's a bit of a spoiler, but I feel people should be warned.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
Do you want to do what surprised us?
Right now.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay. What about you?
No, you're going to have to go first. I'm going to have to think about this.
Oh, okay. Well, what surprised me was how much I loved Octavia E. Butler. Wow. I thought I would like her. I really did, because she's, critically acclaimed. She has a whole lot of huge fans. Like, everybody seems to love her stories and all of that, and I'm right there with them. I think she is easily top 10 science fiction authors that I've read.
Mm-hmm.
Easily, maybe even top 5, probably top 5.
I didn't read anything this month.
And I am going to. No, you didn't. You should have, though.
I should, yeah.
And I am going to. Well, not should have. Who cares? But I am going to read quite a bit of her stuff in 2022. I'm very looking forward to that. But that was my biggest surprise.
You know what surprised me is how much I really, really enjoyed the straight up science fiction. We all know. I've been reading.
We knew you would.
Yeah.
She's been reading her little stories. Right.
I've been reading science fiction romance this month, just simply because I can, and I knew it would drive him bonkers to begin with. And
that's not the reason at all.
But it was partially the reason. I made every effort to make sure I had some romance in there for every one of them.
Though while I was in the hospital, she didn't feel bad for me and read real science fiction. She continued to read that other stuff. So
it was comforting. But Yeah, I read Rescue Party, and I read
Odyssey.
Martian Odyssey, and I read Robbie by Isaac Asimov. And I greatly enjoyed the sci-fi short story. I had trouble, like I read the first Foundation book. I had trouble with it. It's a full-length novel, and I don't know, it didn't capture my attention as well as the short stories that I read this month were, or as well as they did. So I was actually really surprised to find that I loved the straight up short story science fiction. I had a great time with it. It was very fun.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I thought you would. Oh, and another story I really loved was Huddling Place by Clifford D. Simak. I have to throw that out there. It's so good. it was from City. Okay. Wonderful story. Just cool. Very cool. It's kind of sad at times, but very cool. Okay.
So, that's it.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think so. Well, I don't know. Did we have any more questions? Look at the thing before. Yeah, authors you want to read more of. Well, and I've already explained that. Octavia Butler. Yeah, Octavia E. Butler. Henry Kuttner was another one I enjoyed. I didn't mention him, but I did enjoy Henry Kuttner's stories, and I'm looking forward to getting into some more of his stuff.
I'm going to read everything Regine Abel has ever written, and everything she's ever going to write. Same with I want to read more Arthur C. Clarke.
Yeah.
If more of his stories are like Rescue Party,
Yeah, you got to read the Songs of Distant Earth, which is right here. I just happen to have it on the table.
What a coinky dink.
What a great story. I love this thing. And I think Becky would like it a whole lot. Excellent book. It's on Scribd if you want to read it on your Kindle or on your phone or whatever.
Oh.
Excellent. But I think that's it. I'm coming back, or we're coming back with another video. I want to show you my birthday book haul, at least the partial birthday book haul, because I got a lot more stuff coming. And I'm going to show you what I got at the one of the things I got at the library and stuff like that.
So what did everybody think? Was there anything that surprised you when you started New Worlds November? Did you enjoy New Worlds November? Is there anything we can change for next year? Because we're doing this next year. Yep. And he's not allowed to have any more hospital emergencies because, oh my God, my heart can't take it.
Yeah, that was really tough. It was bad.
It was a rough week.
Yeah.
Or a couple of weeks. But yeah, we really hope you enjoyed New Worlds November, because we really did too.
Yeah, even if you didn't participate, if you just watched the videos, we really appreciate it. We appreciate all the hosts.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some people who had a strong YouTube game. David Wardrop, he had a video nearly every day there for a while. Mindy put out some amazing videos. Brandy put out great videos. Steve Donoghue, Mark Richardson.
Yeah, all of the hosts put out really great videos.
Everybody did. Ian, yeah.
I mean, it was fantastic. It turned out better than we could ever have hoped it would. And even with the sort of the catastrophe about halfway through,
we still had a great time with it, and we want to do it again. Look for an upcoming fantasy fantasy readathon. Yeah, fantasy event, kind of like New Worlds November. We may do shorts, we're not sure, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So thank you so much for running with us the entire month of November. It was really fantastic.
Yeah, we had a blast, and thank you so much to everybody who participated and just everybody who watched. Thanks.
Your books are calling. Go read.